SeaWorld is keeping a close eye on a killer whale blamed for killing a trainer.
Control. This is urgent. Jessica's been dragged under by the Orca. We need emergency response immediately. The voice cut through the radio like a knife.
It is nearly impossible to forget the horrific attack earlier this year at SeaWorld. The attack that left a trainer dead, drowned by a killer whale.
Sharp, desperate. On the other end, chaos was unfolding in front of hundreds of spectators. From the bleachers, the water looked calm just moments before. The sun danced across the surface. The Orca Nyx patrolled beneath like a phantom, and veteran trainer Jessica Radcliffe was in her element. She'd done this finale hundreds of times, a ballet of trust between woman and whale. But in seconds, that trust would shatter, and the dreamlike scene would become a waking nightmare. This is the horrifying last swim of Jessica Radcliffe, a life dedicated to the ocean. Jessica Radcliffe, 34, wasn't someone who just had a job. The ocean was her calling. Born in a small coastal town, she grew up with salt in her hair and sand between her toes. Even as a child, she collected seashells not for decoration, but to study them. She would tell her parents, "The ocean talks, you just have to listen." That passion turned into a career. After earning her degree in marine biology, Jessica interned at aquariums and rehabilitation centers, often working grueling 14-hour days without complaint. When she joined Blue Crest Marine Park 8 years earlier, she wasn't in it for applause. She wanted to bridge the impossible gap between human and orca, an apex predator weighing several tons and a trainer with nothing but trust as her shield. Her colleagues said Jessica had a gift, a calm that could steady the most stressed animal, an intuitive way of sensing tension before it escalated. She called the orcas my colleagues, never my performers. The bond with Nyx. Among all the whales, Nyx was different. A towering 9,000-pound male orca with a dorsal fin like a black blade, Nyx had a life history filled with trauma. Captured in the early 2000s off the Pacific Northwest, he was violently separated from his pod at less than 2 years old. He never saw his mother again. For the next 2 decades, he was shuffled between facilities, performing shows in tanks a fraction of the size of his natural range. His teeth were worn from gnawing on steel gates, his body scarred from clashes with other whales. His dorsal fin drooped, a common yet unnatural sign of long-term captivity stress. Other trainers kept their distance. Nyx was known for unpredictable behavior, sudden bursts of speed, refusal to follow cues, prolonged sulking near the tank floor. Jessica, however, saw beyond the warnings. She spent hundreds of hours in his presence, learning his vocalizations, his body language, his moods. She believed their connection was unshakable. To Nyx, she was the one human constant in a life of confinement, or so she thought. The final performance. It was already sweltering by noon. Families packed the stadium seating, kids waving programs and stuffed orca toys. The smell of popcorn and sunscreen filled the air. Cameras and smartphones were ready. Jessica was scheduled for the third show of the day, the crowd-pleasing finale with Nyx. She had performed it hundreds of times, a synchronized sequence of dives, spins, and breaches, ending with both trainer and whale rising together from the water in perfect harmony. The music swelled. Jessica dove, her form cutting clean through the surface. Nyx followed, his black and white body arcing gracefully into the air. The crowd erupted in cheers. But as Jessica resurfaced, something was wrong. She wasn't where she should be. Nyx was circling her, tight, deliberate orbits. Trainers behind the glass stiffened. Jessica angled toward the safety bar, but Nyx intercepted her. She tried again. He blocked her path, and then, without warning, he lunged. The attack, the collision was brutal. Nyx's rostrum, the front of his head, slammed into Jessica's torso, knocking the air from her lungs. In the same motion, he rolled, dragging her deep below the surface. Screams tore through the audience, though many still thought it was a stunt. From the deck, trainers scrambled into action. Signal flags waved, whistles blew in rapid succession. Buckets of herring and capelin were dumped to lure Nyx away. Nothing worked. Nyx had locked into full aggression mode. His speed was staggering, his movements deliberate. He held Jessica under for long stretches, releasing her only to ram her again. Witnesses described the attack as calculated. Not a panicked flailing, but an assertion of dominance. Blood began to swirl through the water, catching the sunlight in eerie flashes of red. For 12 agonizing minutes, the pattern repeated. Submerge, thrash, release, strike again. Trainers shouted her name, banged on the gates, even tried dropping nets. Jessica never resurfaced for more than a moment, and when she did, her body was limp, recovery and loss. Nix finally drifted to the far side of the pool, his massive body heaving slow circles. Rescue divers seized the moment, slipping into the water to reach Jessica. They pulled her out onto the platform. The scene was grim. Multiple fractured ribs, internal bleeding, and signs of prolonged drowning. Paramedics worked frantically, but the injuries were unsurvivable. At exactly 12 p.m., Jessica Radcliffe was pronounced dead. Outrage and controversy. The story exploded across news networks. Tragedy at Blue Crest. Beloved trainer killed by Orca during live show. In hours, the park was surrounded by protesters. Signs read "Tanks Kill" and "Free Nix." Animal rights groups reignited their fight to end Orca performances entirely. But it was the park's statement that set the internet ablaze. Jessica Radcliffe was aware of the risks involved in interacting with orcas. To many, it felt like deflection, protecting the brand instead of confronting the deeper truth. Former trainers spoke out. They revealed that Nix had been acting erratically for weeks, ignoring cues, lunging at gates, refusing food. Warnings had been raised. Management ignored them. The schedule, and ticket sales, took priority. The Orca's breaking point, marine experts pointed to a simple, tragic truth. Nix was an apex predator, not an entertainer. In the wild, he would roam over 100 miles a day. In captivity, his world was 100 feet wide. Instead of hunting in the open ocean, he was rewarded for backflips. Dr. Anna Velt, a marine mammal behaviorist, said, "This wasn't bad behavior. This was captivity-induced psychosis. His world was too small, his mind overstressed. The signs were there, and they were ignored. His circling, headbanging, and isolation weren't quirks. They were cries for help." A preventable tragedy. Jessica's death wasn't just an accident. It was the inevitable outcome of an industry that places human lives and animal welfare behind profits. Her loss became a rallying cry for reform. Former trainers testified to unsafe conditions. Legislators called for new bans on marine mammal performances. But for Nix, nothing changed. He remains in the same tank, the same routines, a reminder that the system is still broken. In memory of Jessica Radcliffe's last swim should never have been her last breath. If her story moved you, if you believe these animals deserve the sea, not a stage, share this video, like it, subscribe so we can keep telling the stories that demand change. In memory of Jessica Radcliffe and every orca still in captivity.